Oh no, I forgot. Okay. WhymsicalWyvern here. I forgot something for my stream. Give me 1 second. Hello, I'm back again. Nobody's here yet. Whoop, whoop. That was awesome. Succeeded in making that quick. Let me get the headphones back on. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, so that was probably a clap too close to the microphone. I need to click on this really quick. There we go. It's a little better. Post. And post. All right. I am here. WhymsicalWyvern here. I'm going to do an oldie but a goodie. Pixel art. Long time position on this channel. It's a good thing to do when the computer's not happy, and that is what I am doing today. Terry Bot is here. My wife told me to rub the herbs on the meat for better flavor. That's sage advice. I love herb puns, but that doesn't do it for me. Anyway. WhymsicalWyvern here. I stream weeknights on Twitch, and I put my VODs on YouTube. I just lost one, so I usually get them over there. I am about to have to go do the whole get them publiced, whatever, made public. I mean, they're technically published. I haven't done that in like a month and a half at least. Sorry, it's a lot. Every time I try to do it from my phone, I lose VODs though, so I have to have computer time, and we all share the computer, so it does get a wee bit complicated. For some reason, I'm in the mood for Yorkshire tea. I might make some after the stream. I'll blame the speaking Brit. I've been thinking about a little exploit I want to do all day. I'm not going to do it till tomorrow. Because I need the computer to be happy and healthy. And it'll probably fail. But it's an idea. All right. What have we got going on here? We are down to... Oh yeah, the glass eye was so pretty. I'm going to work on the manor window because it's just patently ridiculous. I was gonna work on these, but I think I'm just gonna plunge in. Work up and over. Honestly, there's so much of this color here. Not gonna lie, I'm thinking of the time lapse. I'm just gonna say to heck with those other windows I made. I've changed my mind on how to proceed. All right, there we go. That's I'm not even paying attention to that. That's not good. Like, I might actually hit that color, but whatever. Golly, I was freezing when I sat down, and I'm already warm from the computer. It's not happy today. It's like, why are you torturing me like this? It's got some twos going on up here. Okay, let's just kind of zip over. I'll miss some more ones I'll have to go back down for. Alright, well, it's not going to be perfect by any means. I feel like there should be more in here. I saw. Alright. Alright, well, that's something. I think that will be neat in a time lapse. Yeah, I think now I want to go back to doing it a bit more methodical. Oh gosh. Well, at least I realized it without being told this time. Hold on. There we go. Now I see its color out of the corner of my eye. There we go. All right. Boy, the sun cannot make up its mind. Round 7. We'll just come down here and do all the 7s that we're looking at. And then 6, 2, 2, up. I might need to clean the mouse. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Alrighty, let's see. 15. 12. 8. Let's just be nice. And I missed some 2s over here. Let's quickly grab those. And as long as I'm doing 2s and 3s and 4s, boom, 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 boom. What was that old room? Boom, boom, boom. Let's go back to my room. What a silly song that was. I think I'm losing my voice. All right, let's see. I'm not sending the rest of the lyrics. I do know that. All right. And let's just grab these while I'm here. 4. 4. I am in the mood for some different music. This is nice background music. I mean, I like the piano. Usually go for a little more variety, but you know, to not focus on it's nice. Just methodically go through. Stop being silly about it and just Alright, let's see. Start lower this time. There we go. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Lots of 3. And 5. Do we have 5? Anybody? Do we have a 5? 5, 5, 5, 5. Boogers, I'll have to go back and pick that one up. Bloop. Alrighty, what about 6? 6, 6, 6. A las 6. There we go. Boom. Boom. Eleven. 12. 15. Missed one. Alrighty. Let's find 5. Yeah, because this is kind of the line I want to go up to. See. Do I seed with this? Yeah, I saw a few twos in there randomly. Right, that's kind of the general place I want to follow, but I'm trying to figure out how I keep the dark. What is it? Everything up to the fours, maybe? I mean, then you got spots like that. Hmm. Yeah, because that's clearly inside the door. So I don't want to go there. Window, whatever it is. All right, so I'm going to try and follow this kind of up. This, and then I'll pick up some of the rest of that window. That's my thinking. Yeah, I think that is one thing I do want to do. This line right here looks a little odd. Let's just fix you. There you go. Now we're gonna be able to move the screen in a second. good chunk of that. And I'm going to go back and pick up 5. Almost looks like leather. Hyperpixelated leather. I know it's not. But it sort of has that vibe. We'll go with 6s first this time. All right. All right. I also got recommended a new tower defense game that it's not really my thing to do the tower defense. However, I am going to check that out. All right, let's see, 10. And loop-de-doop-de-doop. Okay. I am trying to do some semblance of order here. I know I don't hear people discording me in the middle of my stream. They wouldn't do that. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. Let's see. That is so true. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's give that a 100. And see if we've got a gator. Stupid. Apparently we cannot do an alligator. We'll just do that. Very cool. Oh, what am I at? 12? All right. Let's go back and pick up those 10s that I just messed up. Boop. Alright. Foliage time. Foliage. $15. 9. Vine is growing down. And then what are these? 30. $20. And $18. Yeah, those 5s probably need to. All right, let's just make this easier. We're just gonna really quickly. Just pick up some of this so that it can be. But it can be realistically what it is, right? Okay. And we'll just do the rest will be 5s and 3s down this way. I'm not going to go crazy with it, but honestly, it's just not matching up in any other way. I just need to get rid of this border a little bit. And then 5. Right, and I'm just gonna yeah. I do kind of want these little bits up here now done it. So let's just really quickly 11, 15, 19, and then 11, boom, 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 boom. And we missed a 9. And then a 23. I mean, that's definitely some kind of water fart. All right. Oh, I see. I bet it's over here too. No, it'll be a different color of gray. Maybe that 50. All right, let's work from here. I mean, since 19 is right there. Talk about an unorganized way to go about it. And we'll go to 10. There we go. And hopefully we're building some nice, relaxing VODs for people when they can't sleep and they're bored out of their minds. My dulcet tones will trick them into sleeping against their will. And they'll be so grateful when they wake up in the morning. They actually slept. Be pretty cool. We all gotta contribute to society somehow. And if that's something I contribute, I consider that important. Alright, let's see. Please like and subscribe. I don't know, guys. You're leaving me on my own too long here, I think. I'm losing my mind. That said, I will give my little talk that I like to give every few streams. Lurkers are always, always welcome. I am often a lurker. I appreciate you. Because a lot of times when I'm lurking, it's because I want to be listening to something at work or working around my farm. I mean, it doesn't have to be job work. And, yeah, I mean, it's just so nice to have something, right? But you can't necessarily talk back or chat, or, you know, you may not have good data there or whatever, but, maybe you just don't want to lose your job, but you don't want to have nothing in your ears. I am here for that. I am fine with that. You're never going to hear a complaint from me about that one. I decided I kind of liked the sloppy edge a little bit here. Almost like, I don't know, bangs or something for the building. Okay, let's go back over here. Okay. And it wasn't quite the direction I was going, but, you know, whatever. Whatever. Anyway, I really like when I find a streamer that isn't offended, that I just want to enjoy them. And if I can chat, that's awesome, but if I can't, that's okay. So I started trying to say that on purpose in my streams, and I don't think anybody who's a regular would be surprised or cares, but if you're new, you're just checking things out, you can always pop on by here for that sort of entertainment. I'm not sure it's entertaining. It's noise in your ears that helps you focus on other things, which it's important. I can't help it. I think it's important. All right, so we are kind of doing these vines. Apparently they want to grow. Am I just following the vines like Jason the Wheel Warriors or something? Oh, I like them though. Alright, let's do this because it looks more colorful, just to kind of see what we got going on. Yeah. And then 25. And there's rest 18. Oh yeah, there's some really popping colors. So I guess these are just lighter versions of the other. That'll be nice. I'm not inherently objecting. I'm just laughing that I was like, oh, this looks like new colors. This will be very colorful. Quite the opposite. I got snookered. Snookered, I tell ya, snookered. Alright, 7. We'll do 7 first this time. Welcome as we devolve into madness. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. All right. 19. I do want to get back to Dungeon Defenders. I'm going to be really honest. I got such a bad migraine from it last time when the screen switched up. And I do not want to start having cluster migraines this time of year. So I want to make sure that all my other triggers are kind of resolved. And then I will jump back in and kill the wyverns, because how can I not? I mean, it feels like it's meant to be. And I know I was low-key tricked into it, but I'm good with that. It was hilarious. What a beautiful moment. So of course I have to be the best wyvern and kill all the others, right? Alright, let's see. 9. 9. We got that. This green color. I'm gonna guess that's a green. Alright, and then we have another one of these over here. Okay, now let's kind of clean this up a little bit. 10. I tend to go faster when I just jump in, I guess. Ah! Alright, 7. Three, and then I'll go back and pick up that 50. I don't know. It's going to be all along the top of this band. Okay, that can't be like that. I can't do that. I can't. There's 21 more of that color. Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know where. All right, let's fix these. Just again, I'm kind of coming down from the top. All right, let's pick up 9. Mm. Yeah, just went through another color. I'll have to fix that in a second. Just so I see it. There was another one over here. Yep. Just, I know it's not the right color. All right, now I'm gonna come in with this color. Hmm. All right. Let's Pick up some 15. That's going to be really cool in the time lapse. Right, and then let's get 19. Another 15. Another 9. Boop. We'll just randomly grab these 10s as long as we're over here. Partly because I really think it makes a difference to have that brown in there. Right. Not done at all. I kind of like leaving it with just that, you know, like that. All right, let's come back over here and get this more filled in. All right, and then we'll go to 15. That really should be at least the top. Let's see, we've got 11. And other than 41. All right, what's 41? Stunning. All right, so if I look across, there's a few little areas with this color that I missed. All right, we good. And then I'll finish this little piece of top. We'll try to get back on track. It's just gonna be like vines hanging down kind of thing is what this is sort of doing. Okay. We'll look at 9 again really quick. So I've done most of that through here. Ah. Okay. 11. Birds are doing weird things outside. I think something's making them not feel very safe. Come back and fix that in a minute. Alright, and then I like to fill in the 12 spots as a general rule because that's really the framing, the slightly different color thing going on. What a slippery, slippery slope. Alright. I'm really not trying to play around over here too much more right now. Yeah, I just was trying to get kind of some of that in. I do think I want these little random ones in though. All right, and then we're gonna come back and properly let's see, 5. All right, I'm not saying much because now I'm hyper focusing. Sorry. Come on, give me back the color I want. Wow. Okay, that's good progress. That's good progress. So then I'm going to come up and over. I do want to do like this side too. And then I'm going to switch to the other picture. If nobody's shown up by then. Although I do want to correct this little spot. Alright. Get 11. 12. Because that's always like the... Yeah. And then the 10. And then 30. Alright. How to kind of figure out where and how to come down over here. That's the line. So let's just do it this way. 19. I am not gonna get them all just randomly doing this like this, but it'll give me some kind of framework. 15. Hmm. And then I can come back and pick up the 19s that popped out. Then the 12. It's just like, yep, I'm the one you're supposed to be following. Alright, and then we'll go 11. Alright, that's a good. And then we've got. I saw a bunch more. Yeah, here. Alright. Okay. Now I will need 9. Okay. And then the 8 I do care about because that is part of High Marchet on the other side as well. The 8s are only. Yeah. Alright, I feel like I have a border to work around now. Don't touch the 4s. Alright, let me just grab the 7s because that'll get me. Out of the danger zone, so to speak. Oh my gosh, there's forever more. Mm, 12. All right. Six. All right. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick those up along with just because, I mean, yeah. All right, let's pick up our 5s. Okay, that's a good start. And let's pick up our 3s. It's like if I can mark out the bigger bits and just start chopping down into it, I can go so much faster. All right. So 25 and 20. As I'm over in this little range, let's go pick up that 30. We'll do 6 first this time. No, 5. Oh, still have some 5s and 3s. Hopefully this is kind of a neat effect when I look at it. I don't know. I like to give them something of a... It's nice to look at as I go. Although, since I forgot to put the picture on the screen for an entire stream one time and nobody noticed, I'm not sure anybody's looking. There we go. That's kind of a neat effect, actually. I kind of like it. It just sort of breaks up the picture, makes it better, more reasonable to work with. All right, let's see how much of a percent difference that made. We were at what, like 21%? 37. Okay. Okay. Hello. Are you coloring those pixels? No, they're coloring themselves. How are you doing today? I want to do something on the mouse game, but that kills the computer. And what I want to do is a little bit of an exploit, but I don't know if it'll work. So I gotta wait for till tomorrow, because, alrightish. I'll show you the other one I was working on. It's pretty cool. I like this one. Super cool. Anyway, the Artie needs it for a Minecraft mod tonight, I guess. So I didn't want to stress the computer because it's been unhappy lately. And then, so I want to work on the, I don't know if it'll work, but the little exploit on that. And then I've got to get back to Dungeon Defenders, but I wanted my head in a better place because I ended up with like a migraine for a week after last time I played it. Not because of the game in and of itself, but because of when the screens took over and went crazy on my computer. I did not stop the stream. I just kept going. And I knew I knew what I was doing. I'm glad I did, but I've got to go kill those wyverns, but I will have to have better control over. Yeah. I know what I did wrong, I'm pretty sure, so I can avoid it again. So there's that. Well, for me, I've been doing the Bloomberg Market certification since it's required for my class. Very cool. It's just a bunch of videos. Well, yeah. All certifications seem to be anymore. I have mixed feelings. I feel like it can be more interactive, but whatever. If it's the same information. Anyway, while looking at the market like bounce up and down, it's bouncing quite a bit right now, isn't it? Actually, it's a very cool time to be looking at it. If you can get a pulse on it now, you can actually do something with that. I never seen such obvious market manipulation before. Wait, I have last week, the entirety of the whole year. You know, all market is to some degree market manipulation, right? I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just... Oh, thank you, Sarybot. Good bot. But they never did it too obviously, you know. Well, it's been pretty obvious in the past. Not even a little bit subtle. And quite frankly, when people are trying so hard to outguess the other person and out manipulate the other person, it does create a form of balance in and of itself. So there is that. I am not a market genius personally, but I do have someone in the family who, they're amazing. I think they understand the market better than they understand their own breathing in and out. Very talented at that. I thought I messed up one more one, but we'll see. Anyway, I don't know. I feel like it's pretty obvious since they just keep shifting. They're doing every market opening and closing. Well, I'm not sure they're trying not to be obvious. They don't care. Anyway, other than that, it's not bad. I'm still less than before. I'm still making my profits, just less than before. If you're making any profits at all consistently, you're doing really well. I mean, a good account can average 10% in a year of interest. However, that's with average. There's ups, there's downs. So if you can overall be staying ahead, you might have a nose for this. So I'm going to tell you a secret. No teacher, no professor can really teach this. They can maybe teach you to be better, but either you've got a feel for it or you don't. It's just one of those weird things, you know? It's 15% for the last year. I suspect it's going to go down. Like I said, it tends to be a balance. I wasn't like saying it's a law or something that it automatically does that. But it's generally a good rule of thumb. Anyway. That's very neat. Long as you understand that's an investment for the future and it's not really a good way to make short-term money. I know people do it and they try to live off day trading or whatever, but that is a disaster waiting to happen. And every generation ends up with, like, well, people who get very, very wealthy very, very quickly and then lose it all, and they boss kind of self-delete because they're that upset. That doesn't mean you would. I'm just saying it's you know, it's kind of a high to start doing really good on that stuff. It is a sort of gambling, you know. But it's okay if you look at it in the long-term way. That one oil company is truly carrying me. I know it's not that much money in there, anyways, in general. My one family member says always have an oil company. Always in your portfolio. Always, always, always. Because everything ultimately goes down to oil for how our technology works. No matter what will come or won't come or blah, 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 the reality is it's something that's always in need. I already had my highs. I'm more in the fear part. Energy companies always treat me well. Yeah. They treat everyone well. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. If everybody starts going back to nuclear, that'd be a good way to go too, maybe. We've had the tech to have way safer, way better nuclear energy plants for ages, but people are afraid to have them built. And they keep getting shut down, which to me, it's like either build them or don't build them, but don't put millions of dollars, billions of dollars into production, development, and then not do it partway through. We have whole stations that were ready to go live and they got shut down. I kind of think once you press the go button, you should go. I don't want my money thrown down the toilet. I still believe oil is on its way out in terms of long term. Well, I think because people always innovate, there's going to be better and better options. To have absolutely nothing made from oil at all, we have a tendency to innovate how we use things. You know, we might not use it in the same way, but it naturally just, like, there's areas where it just comes out of the hillside and it's going to be a resource that's available. And at some point, people will just think of different ways to use it. But as other things are more profitable, that's what they're going to do. Pardon me. And easier. People like the easier road. The thing is, though, I wasn't expecting the stock to go up this much and went beyond my expectations for obvious reasons. Well, ride the wave. That's all you can do. I'm just wondering when to get out. It depends whether things go worse or things go better. I am going to just tell you something. Technology, no matter how fast it moves, energy and oil are going to be safe for the long term. You're going to have a crash inevitably at some point here. But if you write it out, it will be worth it. That's what I think. Because ultimately, once it's hit a certain level, it will go back. When it's a regularly used thing. Like, think of silver. People talk about gold and stuff. Like, in a sense, I actually won in a predictive market. I got $32 from like 12. Exactly. But think of like silver. People are like, oh, nobody uses silver anymore. They use it for jewelry. They use it for this. But with technology, silver is actually very important. Things like sterile dentist tools and all kinds of things. Silver is important. So it's just not something that people think of that way. But it's steady. And they talk about gold and if the market ever falls and blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you my 2 cents. If the economy breaks, people are going to be looking for seeds and food way more than gold. It sounds good. But it has to have if the apocalypse happens, what computer chips are using gold? Who's going to choose to have a gold band instead of starve to death? That's what you do for extra. That's not what you do for survival. So I look at things like silver is useful for tools, and it can be fairly low tech to create those tools with that, because it's like naturally, or what do you call it? Naturally sterile. So it's easy to make sterile. That's why I should invest into cow moo. I think cows are smart. All the beef farmers I know are doing quite well right now. In fact, they're doing so well that I saw some people trying to steal cattle out of someone's farm in the middle of the afternoon last weekend. I drove by and stared at them, and they took off. They had like the fences and everything. Oh my gosh! They said run, and they threw it all in the car and they ran and drove away. And I'm like, you idiots! You know I could see you. And I knew for a fact that the farmer had a camera right there. But I mean, being able to identify them later versus actually losing the cattle, that's thousands of dollars. They were trying to steal the new mamas and the new babies, so they weren't even trying to take like more mature animals. Cause yeah, that was me actually. I was trying to take an investment, you see, law. Well, if I know the farmer, I'm probably going to say no, because those cows are so pampered and so well treated. They literally have one bad day. Okay, let's do that. I literally go by sometimes and I'm like, oh, that looks so yummy. I'm going to have to go to the butcher. I need some beef. Is that horrible? But they are pampered and loved and cared for. They come running to their people. They have huge hectares of pasture to be in. And I see all those PETA stories about moms running after their babies. I've never seen anything like that IRL. I'm going to be really honest. All but one of the moms is like telling the kids, go off and eat grass. You don't need me now. One of them will even try to nurse the baby through the fence. The babies won't like it. They'll start complaining. It's really cute. I only think about them when they reach my plate. Mm. Well, I'm surrounded by a lot of cattle farms. So, there you go. Honestly, they're all over the state. That used to be our two, well, cattle and citrus. We're an agriculture state. Hmm. I'm not sure how. Well, I guess it's up here. Oh, that was really clever of me. Beef is good for you, and the new pyramid says have lots of it, so, you know, you're obligated. I'll tell you what caught my attention. We were all taught, oh, beef is so bad for you. Red meat is so bad for you. The more people stopped eating red meat, the more unhealthy they got. Okay, fine. That could be a coincidence or unconnected. Correlation, causation, you know, it's not automatically a thing. But you know what? I started noticing all these supplements that they're telling people to take to be healthier now, that it's not in their diet anymore, and blah, blah, blah. The majority of them are in beef. And I'm like, I'm trying not to conspiracy theorist this, but honestly, good intentions, but why would you take 15 supplements instead of just having the beef? I don't know. But back in the day, they're like, oh, we don't even need the science. We know. It's everybody knows. Everybody knows. Thinking science. Science matters. I don't know. Oh, I see. It's like a little patterny thing here. Okay, okay. What's the equivalent color over here then? Because there should be... No, we'll start down here. Let's see, 34. Oh, I see they are over here. Let me fix that. Okay. I don't know. I think all anybody really cares about is being able to be healthy. Healthy, wealthy, and wise. Anyways, I'm thinking about this one bit of news that I saw relating to like an OpenAI. Apparently, they shut down their AI video thing, and Disney is pulling out of their $1 billion deal they had with them. It's a big red flag. I don't know about that one. I don't really follow the AI stuff. I will confess, I am guilty of enjoying the like some of the slop tuber videos and stuff. Slop tuber's the wrong one. It's not slop tuber really, but it's been waving in my head. Anyway, a good slopper will make them locally in the machine. Yeah. People are using some amazing equipment to get what they want done. I will say that. I've seen some really neat stuff. But that's where I think it's neat. When someone, the people who are just trying to be lazy and program something in and just straight up use it, no. The people who spend weeks trying to get the image that they're going for because they have an art thing that they want to do. I think, like, in other words, it enhances their creativity, but it's their creativity as opposed to, it's like they're putting it in, they're programming it, they're telling it what they want, they're feeding it their stuff. I think that has some really neat results. I hate like the videos with the chatting and blah blah blah, because the S&P are carried by the Majestic 7 or whatever. So, it's like, honestly, to me, as someone who toys around with it, I don't think it's anywhere near the spirit. It can be fun, though. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I hate to say anything is always bad, right? It's a tool. It's a good tool or a bad tool. I don't think it's a tool that will ever do what they're predicting they think it'll do to replace people for this and replace people for that. But I do feel like it's a tool that a good artist can actually use, like charcoal or pixel art or any number of other things. I mean, if they're using it as a tool instead of as the creation, I think they can come up with some really neat stuff. I've been really impressed with some of it. Not like, oh, here's my painting submission, but more like they take different sketches they've done of a given person and they give a prompt that says how they want it to be animated, if that makes sense. It's a very controversial tool, which I honestly very much understand the controversy. I agree. There's a lot of good use cases for it, and there's a lot of bad use cases for it. But that's just it. I think as a tool, the uses are what I look at and judge. I do not agree with the way it's promoted, but I see people finding ways to use it that I think are really neat and should not automatically be condemned, because if you're just feeding it your own work and your own stuff, how is that not your art? It's a form of art form, Image to video. Some of the like some of the people making the music videos are literally trying to feed in certain images and stuff and then trying to prompt that into video. Yes. So you can make in like 2 weeks, you might make something that might have previously taken a studio like 3 months to do, but it's your work. If you're referring to that, I think that one has the most amount of controversy in a sense. I don't know. I mean, if you're directing it, you're producing it, and you're producing what you wanted, how you wanted, and you're someone who is never going to afford a big studio to do it for you anyway, and you're the one working 24/7 on it, I don't object to that so much. I feel like that's art. If you are programming in, give me a 10-minute video about top 5 that I can turn into clips, and you don't even give it a subject and you just pop that online, that's where I think it's lazy. I hate those AI videos that are fake informative, fake people. And they present as real, and they are definitely preferred by the algorithm, which that is hugely controversial to me. But I'm not the world. I don't know. You're younger. You have more time to think about it. You might have more points than I do or know more, but I just... It's like we figured out how to make video games ourselves on computers. And then bigger studios figured out how to do it better. Then we could replicate and go back and forth and back and forth. And now they have an amazing product. But look, the NDA studios come ahead. It makes ultimately a better gaming experience. It goes up, it goes down, but I think that amount of individuality that can get in a door really gives flavor to everything. Anyway, here's a little tidbit about it. The main people who pushed it didn't expect it to move this quickly. Yeah. They thought they would have more time to think about it too. Well, I was against the whole concept of AI. Period. I'm very sci-fi and apocalypse in my feelings about it. I think that Iron Man had some very interesting points to add there. I think it's the three laws of robotics matter, and to my understanding, only Grok has been programmed with the three laws of robotics, but I do think they matter for various reasons that people fleshed out all the way back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I don't think those ceased to be relevant, but I don't. If AI was really AI, but it's really a series of cheaty algorithms. And I also think it's funny that the more that they feed copies into these systems, the more problems they have. Like they get bad copies and it gets better, 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 and then it starts getting worse, worse, worse. So it might be a self-correcting problem, but we're still going to have to worry about it when it actually starts to become a thing. And it's something society should deal with, and they won't. Ah, I don't know. I have a really funny meme about that, but I don't think I can put it in. Anthropic is probably one of the more ethical ones since most of their guys left OpenAI for mostly ethical issues. I don't know. And Claude is less of a yes man, I guess. I don't know. I'm not following all of them even remotely. I mean, I almost kind of like this. All right, let's go work on the eyeball a little bit. What's an outside color? We've got 4s and 6s. And Claude is less, yeah, I read that. I just kind of never wanted it to happen. I had no power to stop it. But I'm also not foolish enough to say, well, that's a tool that I never wanted to come into the world. Let's not look for what can be positively used for it. Like, okay, I don't make a big fuss about it, but I am religious. And I do believe that anything done in prayer, God can make it good. I think that, we just, as people, though, we have to actually look at it and deal with it. And people who love to innovate often famously don't stop and slow down and look at what are all the implications for this. They just love to create. And they get into it. And then the rest of us have to deal with the consequences. I'm actually far more concerned about some of the genetic messing around they're doing. The main few you should just keep an eye on is basically Anthropic, OpenAI, and whatever Google is doing with Gemini. I don't know, a lot of the experts are really thinking about what are we doing. Like most of their best people left. I mean, if you don't want it to succeed, that's kind of a good thing, They had the hubris to think, we don't need them. But if you don't understand what you're working with, this is going to impact the quality of your long-term code. If that's still a thing. Yeah, I don't want them to succeed. No, I really don't think I do either. But that doesn't mean that I can't look at and say I don't like most of what I see it doing, but I can see some positive results. But I will also say this, no matter how they try to work on that, there are those who keep trying to replace people with machines, but there are things that people can do that machines will never be able to do. I definitely believe that. And that is the flaw in their plan, is to believe that machines are superior somehow. Anyway, what do I know? I'm just some poor plebe. Let's see. I'm very much afraid of all of them. Well, I've seen so many things rise and fall. I feel like the way they're treated is more like fads. And when people start realizing they don't really do what they're hoping for, a lot of those kinds of people are going to go on to other fads, like lake warmers. They might come back, they might not, but ultimately they'll find their proper place or they'll disappear. And I hope I'm right. And I could be very much wrong. But that's more where I see it going. I think I'll do this one too. I think this is so cool looking, this eyeball. I don't know why. It's a dragon eye. Although I will say, though a lot of these things have been doing military decisions, algorithms have been used for development of how to make military things happen since a long time. They're not actually making military decisions. They are tools that are used. I guess I went kind of into this one, but that is cool. That's gonna be so cool. I like that. Sorry. Admiring my work, which bounces badly in my brain. If it was AI making the actual decision, I absolutely disagree. If it's algorithms that help drones that are flying in a cluster not to be hitting each other and to make sure that they're not friendly firing each other, I think that's a legitimate place. But if it's deciding strategy, basic strategy, I don't think that is, I think that's ultimately a person thing. You can use the AI for recommendations, but the decisions should always be made by people who know all of the whole picture and the consequences thereof that are likely to occur, good, bad, and otherwise. I trust people, even though I think people are inherently flawed. Just like I trust climbing mountains, but I get very nervous with man-made technology. It's like a glass elevator. I have to force myself as an adult to do that, and I will not walk over grates. I don't trust what people do as much as what God made, and I don't trust machines as much as what people do. So there you go. No, it's more like the general plan. Like, they've been using Anthropic until they stopped recently using them since the government and them had a disagreement about spying on U.S. citizens. Yeah, I did hear about that. OpenAI immediately said I'm willing to spy on people. Yeah, there's, I mean, that was one of my issues with Discord. Discord decided to voluntarily spy on its people and start reporting to the FBI at one point. Like, it's one thing if you have something trigger, look at this, but it was beyond that. And they got busted. And it's like, they didn't want warrants or anything. They just like, oh, you want it? Cool. Here you go. I've never completely trusted Discord, but I don't know where else to do what I want to do. And I just sort of accept that on some level, the FBI is watching everybody, right? All right, let's see. Oh, yeah, that's really pretty. Cool. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, I don't know. I think you know a lot more about it than me. I'm not going to pretend. All I have is basic philosophical thoughts. I don't have knowledge. So I would not pretend that I do. I really don't. I don't use it. I don't completely understand how it works. In theory, I do somewhat. I still, when I look at it, it feels more like a series of algorithms than actual intelligence. It isn't right, though. That's fine. It is not proper intelligence. Right. And the fact that they're trying to create proper intelligence is more upsetting to me, but I was far more upset until I realized it's still just basically a series of really complicated algorithms. They haven't crossed the line that they're saying, but they're trying to, and that, yeah. But I don't know that my objections are popular objections. I just don't think people care about the things I'm worried about, and I don't really have a voice in all of that. Although there are those guys who are using brain cells to make an island power efficiency. It's, come on, you got where they're trying to create basically cyborgs, right? I mean, it's a cool concept. But where you're taking a computer chip and you're putting it in your own brain to control prosthetics on your body. Very cool. But at the same time, again, it's shaky territory. Good intentions. It's a lot of good intentions. Anyways, funny enough, you could blame gamers for those dang GPUs. My brother's been helping me brainstorm solutions for the computer. All right, let's see. I don't think there's a whole lot of this color left. There's two. Oh, wow. That is so pretty, though. I don't know. I missed those other. Aha. Boop, boop. Done. Making everything possible so early. See, my hobby, it's always been special. You know, everything goes back to them, Lamau. Anyway, yeah, it's very pretty. Yeah, isn't it? It's an I know that. I'm trying to do it in a moderately organized way. So then I'm going to do this top bit of scales and just sort of work my way into the eyeball. That was my plan. Ah. So is the day in your area beautiful or kind of crappy? Honestly, it was nice and sunny. Yeah, it was very pretty. Here, it was back and forth between just because of the level of humidity, it was hazy and then beautiful, sunny, clear, and then hazy and then beautiful, sunny, clear. Not like, I don't know. We kept thinking it was going to rain because it smelled like rain, but it never did. It was just that humid. I think summery weather is on the way. We still got a lot of dry season left, though. You shouldn't be sniffing rain. I can sniff whatever I want to sniff. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and take these 9s across. So on a funny, less serious note, have you seen anything about the Afro Man trial? I'm not gonna lie, I came across it last year and I was like, what? I heard of it, I just haven't looked into it. Like, wow, that guy looks great. Well, here's the deal. I'll give you a synopsis. He does parody songs. He's not really out there trying to be, that's what he does. And someone reported him for, was it guns or something? Basically, it sounded like some form of swatting. And the cops showed up. They cost him all kinds of money. They broke in his door. They did all this other stuff. And he had his internal cameras with like the cops eyeing the lemon pound cake. And he swears there was a piece missing when he went back in. Like they cut the cameras at one point, but he had the recordings because, he's more tech savvy than the cops were. So they sued him for defamation because he started making songs about it, trying to get the money back, trying to pressure him that way. Who's going to pay for my new door? There's a whole song about lemon pound cake. And he's just showing actual footage from the cops being in his house. And then they sued him for defamation, and they lost big time because parody is absolutely allowed. And that's footage anybody could have gotten from their own cameras through FOIA or something. So it's not considered private. Oh, wow, I know, right? But he's just like, okay, you gonna assume things about me just from the way I look for my content? I'll assume things about you. I thought that was actually pretty just. I like when things work out that way. Because they had to sit there. Okay, here's my favorite part. Because they made such a fuss about this being defamation and fake, they haven't obviously gone and actually looked at what they were. And so this was played for like TMZ and all these major real news outlets as well, which I would still consider TMZ like international, more legacy than not. Not to mention all the other YouTubers and everything else. So they just broadcast his stuff on a level he never could. If they really thought it was defamation, that was a really dumb move. Because it was never going away after that. I don't know. Anyway, I have found it funny. It works for my odd sense of humor. His stuff isn't really my style, I'm not gonna lie. But it is. I did see the videos when they were newer, and I lost it. I thought it was hilarious. And I figured, well, he'll make the money back for the new door and stuff that way. Fair enough. They're the ones that couldn't drop it. Anyway. I know it's not serious, interesting stuff like you like to check out, but I like a little justice when it actually works out. Just like that effect, but what starts with an S? Effect that starts with an S? Justice? I don't know. Interesting is variable. It depends on the person. That's why I said justice. I didn't say that the legal case worked out for them. I worded that very purposefully. Like blind justice. I do believe there's a place for mercy, but ultimately, there's things we all know are right and wrong. Whether it's against the law or not, don't go shooting your neighbor's dog just 'cause. I don't know. Now, your neighbor's dog is biting your kid or killing all your livestock. You do what you gotta do, but you don't take joy in it. Interesting is variable. It depends on the person. Understandable. I'll stop my plans. You'll stop your plans. You have unjust plans? It was going to be a nice, fun afternoon. You're not going to randomly take out your neighbor's animals? Oh, those cats next door. I mean, if they're evil, that's not no reason, right? Besides, your mama would kill you. You said she loves those things. You don't want murder on her soul, do you? She's your mama. They've been annoying my kittens for too long, lol. I get it. We've just had some people show up at the property next door. I don't know if they're squatters or if they have a legal right to be there. Their dog has tried to chase me away from my own gate twice now. we're going to be having issues very soon. They're very lucky their dog responded to go home when I got mad enough. Don't threaten me on my own property. That's ridiculous. But I wonder how threatening those cats are versus annoying. And you gotta understand, my gate is well away from the road and well away from their property. So that is definite trespassing. Ooh, I like. They're just annoying. I think scared them off since I haven't heard the kittens cry. Aw. Why hasn't their family gotten them a home? Like, who just randomly... You said your mom was having you feed them. You don't want them to make yours sick. Oh, there's like this gray kitten that's trying to sneak in and disguise themselves as the other gray kittens. Oh, you could adopt it. Doesn't sound like the people next door are gonna notice. I don't mind that one. It's just kind of funny. Yeah. I think my day is starting to catch up to me. Oh, there we go. You could tell that one is a different kitten by its behavior. It's too playful. You think it's more loved over there, or you think it's just got a better temperament? I guess, obviously, cats can have different dads. Maybe that dad had a better temperament. Those gray ones always been oddly skittish compared to the rest of the kittens. Huh. Interesting. I've always found gray ones to be pretty chill. But I don't know. I think I want to clean this up over here. I don't know if it's skittish is the right word, but they're ready to attack. Not me, though. Okay, well. Yeah, our best hunter is Katsuki-kin. The great Akatsuki. She's very chill. She's also the fastest to kill anything that she perceives even might be a threat. So there is that aspect. For sure. I know they did scratch my sister a little bit while getting carried around, and there's a mixed gray one that likes to bite my toes. One likes me too much, follows me around. Anyway, I just care for my cute tuxedo cat. Ah. Cuteness required for survival. I mean, there's some truth to that, you know. Although that one is actually skittish in a sense, doesn't actually like to fight. It tries to avoid fight. I don't think any of ours try to fight in that sense. The biggest issue we have, and we do have to keep them somewhat separated now, is that our gray one, Kasky, will defend the queen at any and all costs. And even when the queen doesn't necessarily think she's threatened, if she just gets a little upset, Katsuki defends her, like, to the death. So we have to be really careful about that now. But other than that, she's sweet. She just isn't human and doesn't have our understanding of things. And, so playing around doesn't work with her anymore. All kittens are fine with each other. My cat doesn't like dealing with them too much, but she would never really attack unless they get a little bit too close while she's in the corner. Well, see, they wouldn't and didn't until what we think happened is we knew that there was a panther in the area. And I did find tracks outside, and we think they just kind of confused each other with that smell. And it's hard to go back once they really go for each other, but they're fine in various combinations. Just nobody can go for Lisana if Katsuki's around. Not even in play. She does not understand. She's the guard. All kittens are fine, but she would never really attack unless it got a little bit too close while she's in the corner. The only one that do fight are my cat and Mama Cat, the original neighbor's cat. It's not even consistent. I don't know who usually starts it. Like I said, in general, they don't fight at all. But there is that level of defending. Not even defending people. They're people. Just, yeah. I don't understand it. Because I don't really understand cats. I don't like cats. I kind of hate them. But I live in a house of people who like them, and they saved my life, so they get to stay. They found that snake. They cornered it so I could get it out. It is funny because Mama can't always smack her kids if they get in the way of food. Well, but she's Mama. My cat doesn't even do that. She just hisses and like gives up. Aww. That's sweet. Ours are very wild. I'm not gonna lie. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I was just leaving those others behind. We think they had some very wild ancestry. They're sweet for us. And they're in our house, but I don't even know how I would have someone else watch them. Like, they come like puppies. They come when they're called. They sit. They do everything they're trained to do. But we are the ones they obey. My stray always been so relaxed, although it's probably because of age. Yeah, it might be. I think strays tend to be more relaxed because they know that no matter what happens in your house, it's nothing to being outside, and they're so happy to be in your house. They don't ever want to have to hunt for all their food again. They're like, yeah, I don't want to play that game anymore. I don't want to play the survival game. I want to be pampered and cared for and loved and hugged. That's what I think happens with strays. My cat is the only one that actually goes inside. Ah. Yeah, but if you're feeding them, they're not dependent on catching food. Except for my sister's favorite kitten sometimes. That's because your cat is the well-behaved gentleman. Or lady. There you go. I mean, you didn't actually say, and I'm certainly not looking at the undercarriage of your cat at the moment. Let's be honest. Which is a fat black cat boy. That sounds very spoiled. Nah, the cat is just greedy, just like his mom. Tell me what you really think. Hmm. Kind of trying to follow this around to find the edge. Hmm. Very much behaves like the mom. Ah. Well, I guess there's such a thing as greedy moms. That was wrong. I totally messed that up. I will say mom cat is very smart. My cat is very dumb. Oh dear. Well, it picked you and it loves you. That can't be dumb. And it's a cat. How smart does it need to be? That was weird. My camera just did this weird, like, light going around in a circle thing. I've never seen it do that before, but I'm not usually looking at it. And I guess my image is still here. How will my cat fund my retirement, huh? Easy. If your cat lives to your retirement, that alone is marketable. Here is the world's only 55-year-old cat. You're 20, right? Let's just say you retire early. 45, right? Here's a 25-year-old cat. Still got all its teeth. Let's put it in the Book of Guinness World Records. Its sheer existence will fund your retirement. It's the FBI. Unlikely. I see the vision. See? Take care of it so it can take care of you. Hey, a good Florida boy knows how to market anything. Just saying. Hey, maybe petting your cat lets people find the swamp ape easier. Hmm? It could be. It could be. I will admit I'm stretching a bit here. I think our whole culture is built on marketing. It's a sunny day. I can market that. It's a cloudy day. I can market that. We got people to want to come to a state that has hurricanes, tornadoes, humidity, rainy season. They pay to come here. I'm awful at marketing though. Nah, you're good. Hello.
I came in to say good night.
Hi, Masana.
The strawberry just.
She looks so sleepy tonight. Oh my gosh.
I just picked her up off my chair while she was sleeping.
I know, but she looks sleepy.
Yeah.
Like normally she looks like she's starting to fall asleep, but right now she's like, oh, she's so cute. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. I love you too, sweetie pie. Have a good night. All right, here we go. Like I don't know he's on his computer all night anyway. Aw, there's Potato. He doesn't hide it. Like I go in and he shows me what he's been rendering and whatnot. Designing. Super cool. All right. Not 100% sure where I'm going with this. I sort of had a vision. of like this outer edge. But I might have to go from the inner edge. I'm not sure. But I didn't want to go all the way to here. I kind of want to do that separate. Let's see if I can figure this out. I don't think you're awful at marketing. You get me to watch your streams sometimes. I don't have time to watch hardly any streams. If only discoverability was a little better on these platforms, but whatever. Yeah, I think that's following more or less the line that I'm kind of looking to follow. Try not to lean into the camera since I keep getting yelled at for that. Hey, cough, cough, YouTube, cough, cough, multi-stream, cough, cough, play a gotcha game, cough, cough. Yeah, I know. I've thought about it. I have thought about it. Thing is, I won't spend money on it, but I kind of enjoy some of those. I do. They are guilty pleasures. I'm not gonna lie. They have their place. And I like seeing other people waste their money so I know what's really in the game without having to spend my own. So I definitely see the appeal. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I'm very aware. Use restream. I've definitely been thinking hard about how I want to proceed. It's not if, it's how. And then I will. I think without multi-streaming, you just can't get anywhere anymore. Because the discoverability is better on some platforms. The money is better on others. And the only way to get the advantage of both is to be on multiple. And I say both. I really don't mean between two. I just mean you both characteristics. All right, I had one wrong one. There we go. That's the line I'm looking for. Right there. Sorry. Artaku has been doing surprisingly well as of late from what I've seen. Okay, she was very into One Direction, and then I'm trying to think how I can put this without that direction got eliminated by some things that came to the public's eye that she didn't want to be part of. A direction, that's all I said.
Okay.
But now, I think Hightail has given her that flavor, and that's just helped invigorate all her content. It's really awesome. I'm really proud of her. One Direction, what do they have to do with this? One Direction, oh my gosh.
That's fine. You know, like, what?
I forgot about that band. My gosh, do people even still know they exist? Like, why?
Yeah.
Really?
Drama or something.
They have a drama?
Hmm.
Like, why would they be worth following for even? Okay, I wasn't like a fan. I don't know. I don't know either. They, um, really? I'm sorry. Is it,
Like, what?
I just,
Goes into what?
no. Okay. I just listened to it in my head. I listened to it back. I've just played the whole thing back in my head. I get where that came from. This is the problem with trying to be vague. Okay. I meant like One Direction in streaming content. And you changed direction and that made it kind of hard to find a footing again. It's not that you ever changed what you did in general, but having another goalpost that's really hitting the spot for you makes everything better. That's where I was trying to go. And I'm just shutting up now because it's not even my business. You were getting complimented by him and I was saying, yeah, I've noticed and I think it's great. Yeah. Okay. I love you too. What does One Direction even sing? I remember it was like a band. I don't know. It's like some. I don't even know. This is gonna shock you. I've never been into super popular stuff in the music scene. I know. Crazy. You don't know. You don't have to know. Don't worry. The truth is, you do what you can to be out there. You might be out there for 15 years. You might be out there for 15 minutes. And if the right chord gets struck with the right people and the right everything in the universe, it works. And if not, it doesn't. But I I love streaming Lost. I do. It's kind of addictive. And I couldn't begin to tell you why. I don't know, but I do love it. So if I could find a way to make it work, I would love to. But yes, the gotcha games, I know. I know. Tectone, anyone? I don't even think he does the gotcha games anymore, but it sure got him out there. Enough that even I know about it. I'm just trying to frame this out before I finish the stream at this point. Because I don't know when I'm going to do this again. I'm sort of trying to go back to doing this more like once a week. I don't know. Alright, that's more, I think. It's far from perfect by any... Yeah, there should be some line in here. Then we have our offset lines. And then, yep, there should be something here. And then we're hitting that curve. All right. And then we're more here in the curve. Okay. It's not perfect by any means. But it's a start. Now I think I'm gonna follow the green down. Then we have 19. I don't think anybody knows. That if you ever figure it out, you let me know. Alright, this is definitely from this color of things. 7. We're on this side of bricks for sure. The 4 side is the wrong side. Whoops, I messed up that 11. Oopsie. I just had that my blanket shift and like knock on my foot. I was like, what the heck is touching me? The blanket I have on my lap. Duh. $13 and $4. 19. Here we go. Then we come back over here. We have 19. We have 11. I have disappeared to help my dad, and I will continue to disappear. Hey, that's a noble cause. Being a good son. Gold star to you. Make your dad proud. He is way more important than I am. 15, 15, 15. And then we have 19, 19. Thank you for letting me know. 15. $11. And then we have 9. Yo, Whimsy. How are you today, Chris? You feeling nice and imposing? I'm good, thank you. Very good. Ah, let's see here. God. What was for dinner? What do you think? Okay, that was lame. I had a really upset stomach. So I had some dry, stale tortilla chips and a yogurt bar. But I'm going to eat after the stream. I just kind of did crappy stuff right now. Sorry. I had a really nice dinner planned, but nobody felt very good. Microwave meal? No, not even. I haven't decided, but I just sort of told everybody scrounge your own tonight, and I did not feel like I don't have an upset stomach per se, but my reflux is just going crazy with my allergies, and looking at food is making me very nauseous. But hopefully tomorrow or the next day there'll be some lovely stuffed peppers. I did go get some really nice peppers and beef and things, but yeah, that did not happen for tonight. Sorry. You need sustenance, VTuber mom. Yes, I do. That is a thing I always have to work on the most, and I am the worst example on the planet to my kids. I am. Yeah. I'll get busy, I'll forget to eat, I won't have a big appetite. So I make sure I plan meals for them and around them, and now that they're old enough to like make their own sometimes, I'm lazy sometimes. But and then I don't end up eating, but I still like to cook a whole lot, so I have a bunch of nice little meal things in, and then I go to the butcher tomorrow, so we'll see if I find anything good. Yes, we discussed this. As long as everyone eats, everyone eats every day. That is a rule in my house. Nobody gets away with not eating. At the same time, if the reflux is really bad, I don't like force people to eat until they vomit or anything either. I mean, it's supposed to be sustenance. It's supposed to stay in. Anyway, I don't know. I might have some rice and beans or something. I don't know. Whatever I can scare up really quick. What'd you have for dinner? Make me jealous. Make me hungry, so I'll go make more. Beef and potatoes. Actually, that sounds really nice. I mean, I did go to the store and buy a bunch of beef and peppers. It's not that far off. Back. welcome back. Did you help your dad successfully? Yo, I have before, yes. Apparently someone suffered from listening to One Direction and changed their whole life. That's what I got before I left. I still don't, like, that would have never crossed my mind in a million years. Obviously, that's how important they are to me. Before I left, yeah. So why is so much of this? I guess that's just additional, like, leaves. It must be. Okay. And then we're kind of done down here, except then this picks up here. They were impressive in their prime, I won't lie. Adds, it is important for you, too. I never knew this family filled with One Direction fans. I don't even know what they sang. I just remember being turned off by the whole, so in-your-face popularity. That generally doesn't appeal to me. But I have no idea off the top of my head what they sang. I'm trying to remember which one that was, to be honest. Actually, oh, wait. Was it that one? I'll go look it up later. They had international notoriety, big concerts, record-breaking, impressive. Yeah, well. I think I just remembered why I didn't really care about them. Whoops. But I'm not sure if I'm thinking of the right group. I myself wasn't a fan. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm just trying to remember what they even... Like, I didn't even remember they existed. I certainly didn't expect anybody now to know they existed. But, you know, Lost loves his, music variety. British boys, skinny jeans, and wavy hair. Okay, okay. Anyway, it's now canon that Artaku likes One Direction. Again, I'm not sure she can even tell you anything that they ever sang, but okay. Lore is, I guess never bad. Hi. Did you just try to pet my hair or smack my head?
Probably a bit of both.
I know, it's so funny. Oh, has he figured out that his paw ends up in the camera, maybe? That's funny. I like Art's music choices on stream. Oh, she's got excellent music taste. Don't worry, we're going off your statements. We and expanding beyond them. Oh, another voice. Yes, the collectively. You're part of the collective now. Okay, well. I'm part of the, what, the Borg or something? I don't know what to say about that. Collective. I'm not with Lost on this. Sorry, Lost. Yes, the collective. You're part of this collective now. Yes, the board that controls the lore, the ones who rewrite history. Okay, I said the Borg, like as in Star Trek Next Generation, but okay. Like the big cube. Thought it was the Borg. Did I remember wrong? Maybe. It's been a while. It's okay. We will rewrite you, Chris. Anyway, okay. Well, nice to know that I don't need to be part of anything that's written about me. Don't let me get in the way of your lore building. Reality does not need to matter. I don't know who we is. Lost is really excited to have someone else on stream with them. I think he's been lonely. It's been a long day. Nobody here. He's trying to keep me company. When please, I'm not with him. It's okay, Chris. You're part of this. I am. Okay, I got a question for you. If Wile E. Coyote could have a phone a friend while trying to defeat the Roadrunner, who do you think he should have phoned as a friend? I don't know why I thought of this today, and I was curious about what people would say. I like questions, Swimsy, help me. I gave you a question. I gave you a question. I think there's a lot of freedom in that question. The white Swimsy. Super Saiyan Goku or Superman? Ooh, I like Super Saiyan Goku or Superman. That's good answers, but Super Saiyan might be better, but I don't know. Because Superman might be too, like, moral to take out the Roadrunner, you know? Those seem like good phono friends. Goku would do it. What if we take Roadrunner to take out the Roadrunner? Well, there you go. There you go. That's another good option. I'm sorry to hear answers from the other room. I don't know. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you guys, because I don't know. But that seems like another viable option. Down, down, down. Up, up, down. I'm just trying to finish this part real quick. Anyways, though, I think the Roadrunner is able to reality bend. That raises the power skill, you know. It's able to shift walls. On the other hand, Wile E. Coyote can survive being flat. Like, that's a superpower of sorts. You squish him flat, he pops right back up and goes to the next project. I mean, I'll be honest. That's got some advantages. I personally like all of my bones and things in my body. It's able to shift walls. Hey, you do what you gotta do, right? He even survived movie cancellation. Roadrunner is fodder when faced with the hope of the universe of Son Goku. Well, there we go. I think opposing Chris has more conviction on this one. I do, thank you. You gotta have conviction in this world, right? Ah. Alright, I'm just trying to finish off this last bit. Yeah, there's not much of this color left at all, honestly. Let's see. Probably a little bit on the other side. But here's the thing. All he has to do is get away. It's not a fight. That is true. He has survival skills. So, like, do we object to him surviving? I mean, I'm a little confused quite where that goes, but I do agree that that gives him an advantage over, like, a one-on-one fight. He couldn't escape the grasp of the champion of it's so good. I think you've settled into your answer quite solidly. Think. Oh, we got one here. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the boundary between. And then there'll be a little bit over here, I guess. Oh, so see, this doesn't have like a solid. Interesting. From an angle perspective. Oh, you got that coming down and around, and then it's just all interesting. Okay. That's probably a good place to leave it. I think I'll just go ahead and 27 this down, and then I'm about there. Whimsy, do you know Goku well? Nope. But I'm aware of him. You couldn't see the grasp. I have awareness. I'm not going to pretend just to be cooler. Maybe someday. All right, let's see. 3. Yeah. Do you dislike Goku? No, not at all. I just have a lot more things in my life that I have had an interest in consuming than that I have had time to consume. And that just hasn't won the attention yet. It will at some point. Like, I've seen things I think are cool. I just... I don't really watch much. I do watch some YouTube-y stuff. Honestly, when I watched it for like a little bit, I always been more of a Vegeta fan. What would you like to consume? Tells me a lot, Lost Soul. I have at least 2 books next to my bed that I keep meaning to read. I have 2 more books on my dresser that I keep trying to get to. I have stacks of things on YouTube that I've tried to put on my history so I can go back and find one day, and hopefully they'll pop back on. And then there's shows that I would have liked to have finished consuming or consume that I never had the time for. But I've been happy with how I've made my choices on my time, and it's not like stuff like that goes away necessarily, and when the time is right, I'll have time, and that's what I'll consume. Don't worry, Lost. I mean, I'm not trying to be weird about it. It's just you make choices. You can't do everything you want to do in a day. Well, maybe you can. Maybe I'm just greedy. Don't worry, Lost. True, I can't. I want to learn an instrument and haven't, but I yearn for many things. That's just it. I mean, I have a cross stitch that I bought over a year ago that I wanted to work on, and it's just sitting there, ready. And then one day I'll pick it up. I'll whip the whole thing out. I'll do it in no time at all. I just have to have the time and the concentration and when something's supposed to be pleasurable, I'm not going to do it in a forced way. I'm not going to do that to myself. Now, if it was something I had to do for like a deadline, that's a different thing. That I yearn for many things for many people. I knew my future was meant for tragedy. Thank you, the seer, and yet I don't have the time. Destiny doesn't define you, Lost. Lost is not defined by destiny. Okay. Alright. I think that's a pretty good place. I like where that's going. Alright. And here I'll show you the eyeballs progress. Or not. That's very cool. I can't stop my destiny. It's over. Do you believe in destiny when... Suda says no. Honestly, I believe that God has a plan for all of us. But I don't believe like there's some mystical, mysterious, this has to happen no matter what, necessarily. No way, boss. Oh. Really? Tell us more. No? You're done? Okay, well, he was trying to share his wisdom. And we just didn't appreciate it fast enough, guys. And he's gone. He's like, no more out of me. Meow, meow, meows. I think we're all born with potential, but you can't do all of your potentials. In that sense, I guess the destiny would be there, but I don't know. I understood. I shall kill Chris. It's the only way to stop destiny. I think people can be destined for greatness. 3. Destiny arrives all the same. Lost. Yep, that is true. That is true. Okay, guys. Bye. Bye. I hope everybody has a really good evening, and I will see you tomorrow.